Hi, my name is Alysa and I'm the founder and CEO of Fond Bone Broth. In addition to being a boss lady, I am also a mama to 4 beautiful boys and 1 on the way, which is the miracle rainbow baby that I got pregnant with during Lyme disease, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. So just wanted to say before we get too far into it, there may be some triggers in this story for you. So if miscarriage or depression or anxiety or eating disorders or chronic illness are triggers for you, then now is a good time for you to hop off, and there are other ways that we can engage and connect outside of this video. But if those topics are okay for you, then this is a safe place, and I am so thankful to share my story. For a long time, I actually didn't feel like I could share this story because all I could see was what Lyme disease had taken from me and how much I had lost. And actually, when I would look at my face, when I would come on to do these videos, all I could just see was ugliness and sickness and brokenness. And that was really hard. And I'm so thankful to be in a different place where I can see the beauty that is coming out of this and learn to love myself, even though things have changed about the way that I look because of this sickness. But I can still learn to love myself and see that I have value, and that my story has value and may encourage you. So let's dive in. 2 years ago, I was pregnant and had just no peace. I felt completely off during the pregnancy. I had told my husband constantly, I feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like the baby's gonna die. I was depressed and suicidal and just fantasized about dying, I think, just as no way of escaping. I love my kids. I love my family. I love my business, but I was overwhelmed and my body was really hurting. And I did have a miscarriage, and that was heartbreaking for me. I didn't want to have one, but I knew I wasn't well enough to keep the baby to term, and so it was a complicated thing. And that's when my medical team and I believe that stress event and the tons of blood loss that happened after that incident is what caused the Lyme disease to become activated in my system. So the stress and the blood loss is what triggered it to my body to no longer be able to fight it off. So I'd gotten lots of tick bites as a kid, was constantly outside, never had the rash or any sort of illness from it. And so this was the point at which, my body for so long had been fighting and just was not able to fight anymore. Unfortunately, it took us a really long time to figure out what it was. And so, I was prescribed, I was willing to take, as a natural mama, I never take prescription drugs if they can be avoided, but I was willing to take a prescription drug, nothing, didn't even help at all. I would have these blackout panic attacks where I would be just sitting on the couch snuggling with my kids, and all of a sudden my arms would fold in on themselves and my husband would have to call the ambulance because he couldn't get me to respond. And so just extremely scary. It happened once while I was driving, and before I passed out, I was able to call the ambulance and pull over so no one else got hurt. Just extremely serious, out of control panic attacks. And I felt like I was dying. Just no control over my body. Things that shouldn't scare me scared me. Things that I knew were irrational to make me fearful. Just the elevator went all the way up to the top floor, and I had no control. And my MD at the time, who is a wonderful man, was not able to help me. He would do an ultrasound of my thyroid, do blood work, and do an x-ray. And about the 3rd round of blood work, ultrasound, x-ray, I just said, I'm not getting better. We're not getting to the solution. And what was heartbreaking for me is they came to the solution that I was sick, but I wasn't sick enough to be showing what was making me sick. So I needed to get a little sicker for them to figure it out. And I didn't want to get sicker. Friends, I did not want to become more out of control and more ill. So I went ahead and did a DNA test, and there are 2 companies that I recommend for this. I'm not affiliated with these companies. I just really benefited from them. The first one was Creating Balanced Health, and I did their full body scan. And that was the first indication that Lyme disease and the co-infections could be a factor in my sickness. And I went on to get a formal Lyme disease diagnosis. And that's when we were able to start making progress, because when you know what it is, then you can know how to help your body. And for so many of us, if you've been in that position where you're sick, desperately sick, and you don't know why, knowing is so much better than not knowing, because you can make the steps to let your body heal. The second company that I recommended, and I've also taken their test, is Root Cause Revolution. It's a little bit pricier, but it does show a more comprehensive scan. And so the ones that I've done following have been with Root Cause Revolution. So anyway, moving on, I went on a 5-month intensive protocol. And at the end of the 5 months, my husband said, "You are like the Energizer Bunny. You are yourself for the first time in 2 years." And for him to say that to me was just, oh, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful, because you know when you're not yourself. And there's so much heartbreak in that too. Just knowing, oh, I'm not who I am, and I can't be that person right now. And so giving my body the space to heal and minimizing the stress in my life. Yes, while running a business. Yes, while raising our 4 boys, we had to make some changes. We had to take some stuff off my plate. We had to hire some more amazing people into the Fond family. We had to get some help around the house, and to just respect my body and the boundaries that it needed there. And so around the same time, I had a dream that this was right after Christmas. I had a dream that I was holding a baby. And I said to Isaac, my husband, we need to buy a pregnancy test. And we did. And lo and behold, we are pregnant with our 5th baby boy after being told by so many people we would never have kids again. Of course, following this news, there were other emotions, right? Was I going to have a miscarriage again? Was I going to fall back into the sick part that I was, and was my body going to be able to handle this? And so there was a lot of trust from me saying, okay, body, are you able to handle this? And there was a lot of trust with me saying, yes, I can handle this. And so just listening to my body there. And one of the things that the DNA test showed me, in addition to Lyme disease, is that I was deficient in glutamine. And where do we get glutamine, guys? From bone broth. So me, who drinks bone broth every day, my body needed more of it, which I love. I love that bone broth is showing up for me again and again. And so I started drinking a quart a day, and just made great progress and continue to thrive. And it's an easy way for me as a pregnant mama to get to my 90 to 100 grams of protein by just having a quart of bone broth. Easily gets 40 grams in, which is awesome. And other things that I'm doing for maintenance are cooking with the bone broth every chance I get. So I'm just getting it in any way I can. I'm extremely thankful to Fond, of course my healthcare team, but absolutely to Fond for helping give my body what it needs. Meeting me at a point of crisis and helping me get to a point of wellness where I can fight the Lyme disease in my body, and I know I will go into remission, and that my body will be able to continue to fight it going forward, even if I have to continue to be on this wellness regimen for the rest of my life, where I'm mindful of stress and taking strategic supplements and taking DNA tests to see where my markers are. And so I just hope that I can be an encouraging story for you. My body continues to do things that people tell me that it won't be able to do, just when I supply the right nutrients, or I listen to it, or I take care of it. And I want that to be an empowering story for you, that you would not be defined by illness or disease, but that you can see hope, and that you can embrace a flourishing that happens when we stop and we respect our bodies and we listen. So excited to share this pregnancy with you, excited to share the tips of what I'm doing in addition to bone broth, or how I'm getting that quart of bone broth in a day. So please be sure to stay tuned to the Fond channel, as I'll be sharing more throughout my pregnancy, and then of course the postpartum season, which is so hugely important and overlooked. So thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to spending more time with you.